David Alaba as a midfielder, Endrick as our new number 9. This and more to talk about across this video, including all Real Madrid news as of recent. Now, for me personally, I want to start off with the obvious. Endrick is our new number 9. Gonzalo Garcia taking up the number 16 in this Real Madrid team. Now, for me personally, when I look at this, we can just think of many things in our heads as Real Madrid fans. But to state the obvious, Endrick, I don't think, is going to have as much game time as Gonzalo Garcia. The reason being is because Endrick, as what he's shown so far on the pitch, even though in his little cameo appearances under Carlo Ancelotti, he's not really a jack of all trades up front. He doesn't really have the technique. I thought he would have more technique coming from Palmeiras, but his technique lacks on the ball, and all he has really is a rocket of a boot, which is incredible, but sometimes just not accurate. And he scored his goals. Don't get me wrong, he scored, and he's a young player. He has time to develop. Look how Vini came initially to the club, and Benzema getting consistently frustrated with him. So for him to take the number 9 spot, he needs to be showing that he's worthy of that number. He needs to be putting the ball in the back of the net when he has the opportunity. And I think under Xabi Alonso, Endrick will be given the opportunity. At the moment, currently nursing an injury and seeing where he can go with that. But if he can be the player that we bought him for, essentially, from Palmeiras, then hopefully he can do really good things across the La Liga season, or ultimately in the Copa del Rey when we need squad depth and we need Mbappe to be replaced and rested for crucial Champions League matches when it does get heated up. And the group stage in the Champions League is going to be crazy. The Copa del Rey this year is going to be crazy. And Barcelona and Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid are going toe-to-toe. Atletico Madrid signing many players that can really deepen their squad, especially for Simeone and what he was maybe lacking last year. So Endrick is going to be another striker option. And obviously Gonzalo Garcia, we've seen him in the Club World Cup. We've seen what he can do. A really good link man and a pure finisher when he's given the chance. And we saw that ball that Arda Güler gave to him, and it was absolutely exceptional. His movement and what he does off the ball is also equal to what he does on the ball. And he's been here for a very long time, a Madrid boy at heart. So for him to be given the 16 and not the 9 maybe disheartened him a little bit. I'm not sure. Maybe he wanted that number in the first place, but the journalists got it all wrong. They said Gonzalo Garcia was going to be given the 9 and then Endrick was going to be given another number. So the journalist completely just gone. Lost me for there. So we need to really ensure that Gonzalo Garcia is pretty much our main reserve striker, apart from obviously Endrick, to replace Mbappe, because he is brilliant on the ball, off the ball, everything that he offers in the press, very good as well. So he is going to be a future star, definitely, and hopefully Endrick can be too. But apart from that, we need to talk about a player that is currently in the squad, in David Alaba, whatever you want to call him. And seeing Alonso playing him in a friendly in the midfield for a cameo appearance shows that Alonso wants to try different things with David Alaba. Of course, his legs are not there. We know that his physicality is not up to scratch and where it used to be, especially with Bayern Munich and when he first came to Real Madrid. But we've seen him play in Austria in a midfield position, and he's done exceptionally well there. Exceptionally well in Austria. So for him to do that, then we need to ensure that David Alaba is given all the resources available to try and play that midfield position. Even if it's Copa del Rey appearances, then he gets the time to be on the pitch because it's not going to be as demanded. And I would say that his technique suits that deep line playmaker position that we all want in Real Madrid, because his technique, his passing, his vision is incredible. Believe me on this. His passing range is unreal. Even though the stats don't show it, but he is. And he can offer that on the pitch. Trust me on this one. Because he is essentially the John O'Shea of Real Madrid. He's a jack of all trades. He can play attacking mid if he wants to. He can play left back, centre back, midfield, anywhere he wants to. So give him the opportunity and hopefully he can thrive, because he's one of the players that I can say wholeheartedly in the whole team is one of the best on the ball itself. Very rarely loses it. And yes, obviously he came up against a very thriving Saka in that Arsenal match and got absolutely ripped to shreds. But on the ball, I have absolute faith in David Alaba. Absolute faith. So Xabi Alonso really needs to know where his position is in this team, because we have obviously Fran Garcia. We already have obviously Carreras as well. So there is an opportunity for David Alaba to find a new position completely in this team. And if he can be that kind of player in the midfield where he doesn't need to run too much, but just do the simple passes and the also extraordinary passes which he has in his locker to the front men, then absolutely he can fit into this team. And it's given us an opportunity to have now another midfielder who, obviously, Bellingham is out. Then we can have that squad depth that gives us the opportunity to say, look, now we can go into all competitions and have the squad depth to compete on all fronts. So give me David Alaba in the midfield all the time. But the whole team in overall, I'm looking at it before La Liga starts. Obviously, we've got a friendly in Austria and then La Liga starts against Osasuna. So all the Real Madrid news now has circled around the current team pretty much now. There's no more transfers coming in. And apparently, we're going to be raiding PSG in the future for certain players. But I have to see. Because a player like Vitinha will fit our team to a glove. Absolutely. And give us that kind of player that will roam around the midfield and be a typical Toni Kroos replacement. That's it. It's simple as that. And we need that in the team. We need a player that's going to give us that kind of freedom to roam in the midfield and also allow the players to just go up front. Go up front and say, okay, cool. I'll control the tempo here. You just do your thing. And that is it, really, guys. So we need to really just be a Real Madrid that has squad depth, that can compete for the Champions League and La Liga mostly this year. That is it. And hopefully we have faith enough in Xabi Alonso, even though I'm kind of reserved in my opinions of Xabi Alonso. I still need to see the very first 10 games, because those first 10 games is going to give me a very good insight into how Xabi Alonso is going to fit into Real Madrid and the whole team across the year. We just played Leganes in a friendly, beat them 4-1, and Leganes, may I remind you, last year gave us a very difficult time in the Copa del Rey. Very difficult. So make sure you like this video, guys. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you next time on another video. Take care. A la Madrid y nada más. And it's time to end the stream, Dave. Take care, and we'll see you next time. Adios.